Hello, 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 YouTube. Fuck2762 here, and welcome back to Peppermint Winter, Chapter 7. If you didn't see the last parts, it's in the description, the link description below, or annotation, or whatever. But otherwise, guys, this is available to read on fanfiction.net and archive of our own. But this is an audiobook this time. So anyway, guys, the purpose of the English automatic captions, CC button down there if you're curious. And this is a crossover between Metal Fight Beyblade and Kingdom Hearts. If you're not familiar with those two, then just check out those two, whatever. But anyway, guys, let's start it. So, why are we exactly here? Demix asked, as Emily speed rushed through the walking crowd to get to the apotheke to obtain a cure for Demix's bathroom problems. Just a little treatment for your bowel, Emily replied flatly as she found one and swiftly entered in it, greeting the lady behind the counter who was busily sorting out various boxes of medicines. Demix, fearing with sweaty nervousness, trembled next to her. You're not going to buy Seption and insert in my butt, right? Emily smirked in return. I wish I could give you something that painful, but let's go something... sorry, guys, I messed up right there. I wish I could give you that, but let's go into something more non-painful, like powder in a glass of water, perhaps? That eased his nervousness down. All right. Sorry, but we only have laxative syrup only, the girl replied, eagerly tapping her fingers for a final decision. What do you think, Dem? Emily whispered. Are you kidding me? I love syrup! Demix yelled too loudly, not too loudly for the people outside to hear. Good boy. Emily pinched his cheek and paid the medicine. Care to have a sip till 20 milliliters? Why the hell not? Demix craved as he drank it in one gulp. Dude, this thing is good. Let me have some more. Emily snatched the bottle from his grip. No, Demix, don't think this is an ordinary beverage from Kroger's grocery store in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Ah. Demix whined and pouted as they both walked down the third floor as his eyes caught the words Amanor food. Gasping and squealing in excitement, he brought out his hands to his mouth. Oh my god! Demix, no! Emily called, but it was too late. Lobster Boy entered the grocery store already. After a labyrinth of aisles, Emily wanted to give up the search. It was as if she was the security guard trying to hunt down her crazy husband, who shoplifted the whole aisle of Swiss cheese, meat, and yogurt. It was obvious to see him located at the snack aisle, giggling like a crazy maniac to himself as he picked out Krusty Krab Mr. Lobster, jalapeno-flavored lobster-shaped peanut, and corn snacks off of the shelf, auspiciously hugging the bag in childish glee. Storming over to him, Emily snatched the bag and rightfully placed it back on the shelf. No time for junk food. Let's go. With Demix being dragged all the way to the paying counter, he luckily held his grip on the loose one and lopped it onto the moving black conveyor belt. I wouldn't pay for that if I were you. Go put it back, now! Emily pointed to where Demix was supposed to place it back on the shelf, but it turned out that he stupidly waved $2 in front of the cashier's face. No dollars here. Francs, please. The cashier replied, rather rude and offended. You heard what she said. Go! But, I really need it, Demix wailed, as he grabbed it off of the belt and started heading towards the shelves, but then halted and turned around hot on his heels like a shot. On second thought, Emily, let's make a deal. I remember how many deals we made, and they all sound like a perfect excuse. Emily snatched the bag away from his grasp and started marching towards the aisles. Wait! Demix panted, halting her to a stop and making her sigh with furious frustration. Oh, what now? I'll start listening from now on, please, Demix begged, getting on his knees with his hands in a prayer pose, while he looking up at her with those sad aquamarine puppy eyes and the sad frowning pout. After about 2 minutes of accepting his plead, Emily sighed softly and handed the 2 francs over to the cashier. Fine, I accept your deal. But I also have the ability to lock this snack up in the attic, understand? Yes, Em, I understand. Demix fake smiled with joy as they both headed towards the way to the parking garages, only for them to halt in front of the lady with a Santa hat propped on top of her head, handing out a card with a small Santa chocolate taped onto it. Squealing with delight, he was about to dart over to the eatable candy when Emily intervened and gave out the scolding look. No chocolate for you. But Demix protested back with light tears trickling down his cheeks. I just wanted one. Too late, Dem, Emily continued, as the lady pointed towards the board to their left, explaining the rules to a lottery to win the selected prizes above. Oh boy, if Jing and his friends were here, the redhead would most likely win 2 tickets to see FC Basel play in their next soccer game. As for Critter, he would be hoping to replace his HTC with a new Galaxy Alpha. And lastly, for Esther, she would just win a shrug and win whatever was on the board. But since they had to rush out in the front of the entrance of the shopping center, both Demix and Emily were lucky to use the parking garages underground. Dem, look for 3016. Emily's eyes scanned for the said number on her card as Demix was distracted, wildly staring at the chocolate wistfully. 3951, 3968, 3016! Emily softly jumped up and down in excitement as she grabbed his attention towards the board. I finally won a Samsung Galaxy Alpha! Not fair, Em. You get to win something, but I can't even eat a Santa over there. Demix complained softly as they both stood up and approached the lady giving out the lottery cards, who in return said something that almost shattered Emily's smartphone trade, from an S5 to an Alpha. Congrats on winning, but I'm afraid that once you win the prize you have to pay for it. Screw this, I'm heading back to Ohio then, Demix said, as Emily shook her head in disbelief. The lady waved goodbye at them. Well, that was even pointless to play, she confessed, walking down to the exit to face the parking garages, as Demix slowly took the snack bag and opened it. Fine, one bite, and that's it, Emily said sternly as she dug deep and gave him one lobster. He in return hugged the snack piece with delighted glee. As soon as they were about to cross to get to the car, Demix lobbed his snack skywards to his target downwards, which was obviously his mouth, when the lobster bounced off his mullet head, got smacked away by some guy's tennis racket brought from the sports store, most likely Oceaner Sport, flew to the second-hand smoke clinging to the diesel-stenched air, and finally landed right in the middle of the roadway, where a line of cars purposely crushed over the lobster, leaving a trail of corn powder bits glued to the running tires. Demix kneeled down in shock and cried in agony. Emily, feeling a sudden rush of embarrassment and anger, dragged her childish husband away to their pilot. What's the big deal for crying over a stupid snack that got run over, Emily clipped on her seatbelt and started the car, carefully backed up and scaled up towards level 1. Obviously there's tons of them in the bag, and you foolishly cry for one lobster that got roadkill. Honestly, Dem, please be more mature next time. Sighing, she slid out the window down to turn the paid parking ticket, but for a look of worry etched her face. As quick as lightning, she panicked at the sight of Demix just sitting there with his face hung low. What are you doing there? Just sitting there like a dead duck? Help me search for the ticket. Emily set out the parking brake and hazards as she stood up and gazed down towards the driver's seat, her hand digging in through the wedges of the cushions, but in return she sighed deeply in panic, as if hurt inwardly. Demix, watching the whole frantic situation of one lost ticket to exit the garage, didn't even bother to help, for he was too busy hugging his horse plushie. Drivers shouted angry remarks as they impatiently horned a couple of times, signaling that they better hurry up or they'll call the cops. Yes, this is the only country where rights have no freedom, but used in an unfair tone and action of threats and fears towards the innocent victim. Emily sighed impatiently as she gritted her teeth and muttered, "Where could it possibly be?" Unaware of Demix giving out a quick sneeze, Emily fell backwards towards the driver's seat, heaving a sigh to give up, when the force from Lobster Boy's sneeze made a white paper flutter down with calm turbulence towards the central console storage, and slightly labeled against the deep corner of the glove box. Too distracted to dreaming about dolphins skipping across the surface of the ocean. What happened again, Emily? Demix snapped to the attention, facing her with a tired but goofy face. Oh, it's even wordless telling you what happened lately, Emily said in a frustrated way, as she fiercely slid down the ticket in the machine, thus making its tiny green LED screen say, "Danke und gutes Ausfahrt," with a smiley face. Demix honestly didn't care what happened earlier. The thought of Emily announcing a fondue dinner with her mom sounded so wistfully amazing, he could just jump out of the car at any second and catch a tram ride back to Keiston. Signaling to the right to take the highway back to Keiston, Demix purposely switched the turn signal to the left so they could drive down to the St. Jakobshalle to check if Big Bang was present or not. Demix, you know the way? Emily asked in surprise. Unaware of how Demix had the best navigation around the country, he immediately fell in love with. Shrugging with no clue in return, he instructed Emily to turn left towards the parking lots of the St. Jakob's Music Halle. But instead a long line of cars were occupying the roadway, while huge white tents occupied the main parking lots. Both of them wondered with curiosity. What's going on in here? Emily rolled the pilot forward, her eyes catching endless amount of white tents that appeared to be very long and endless stables. Hint word, stables. Don't tell me. Deming started, his eyes wide as he opened the window and inhaled the smell of hay and manure lingering in the air. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Emily smiled in a sly way as realization snapped into reality, making her foot hit the brakes in front of a frightened horse bucking up in front of both of their eyes. Demix then caught sight of an event banner, which he presumed why there were many cars, tents, and security aiding the people to park their cars from bumping into innocent horses calmly clopping over to their tents. I'm launching a CSI Basel? Perhaps it's an equestrian show, Emily guessed as both of them faced each other with gaping realization. Jake and Wonder, they said in a distinct whisper, referring to their horses back at home in Beaver Creek, Ohio. So guys, that's it for chapter 6 or 7 for Peppermint Winter. I think I'll see you guys next time. CC button down there for English on my captions, purpose of that. Otherwise guys, fuck 2 cents 6 out. Bye.